when you've been into self-improvement for long enough, and when you've been working towards something and being ambitious for long enough, you've probably realized, especially, or at least in a subconscious way, where you haven't materialized your thoughts yet, that there's two types of people, really, in terms of ambition, striving, and having a purpose in life. The first type, talking about or believing that they are in the position they are in now because of what happened to them and what life threw at them, and they always come up with some type of reasonable sounding explanation for why they're like this and why they aren't better, and because how this happened to them, they aren't as successful or hardworking as somebody else. And the second type of people who have absolute, even unreasonably seeming self-accountability, where they're like, I'm in this position because of me, it's my fault. And if I want to achieve something, it's all up to me. And the second type sounds more unreasonable because it's harder to comprehend than the first type, which is the reason that most people don't even elevate and wake up to experience this philosophy of the second type anyway. Some people wake up at 18, some people at 30, some people at 60. And others simply keep drifting in their lives thinking that something's gonna happen to them. They're just waiting for something. Waiting to die, basically. There's more comfort in that way. You can keep believing in the first type if you want to. I'm not stopping you. You can keep believing and relax and think, it's okay. I have to wait because life's in control. The universe is in control. It's not me. And the second type, who's like, he's stressing because he's like, dude, I might be in my scenario right now, but I can change everything. I can change the way I feel, my mental health, physical health, to how good I look, the girlfriend or boyfriend that I'll get, and the life that I can have. And the first type in comparison in a dialogue would be like, dude, that's a bit unrealistic. Like they might maybe say, yeah, whatever. But in their minds, they're like, dude, that's so unrealistic. How immature is that? Because their dreams died when they were 14, 13. Their dreams of becoming anything, whether it was an astronaut or building a business and making money, it died, okay? Most people's dreams died a long time ago, and they've just been living for the sake of living, all right? So, and you might be thinking, well, which reality is correct? Which perspective is correct? And I used to ask myself this. I was like, dude, am I even, like, I know that my philosophy, I'm the second type who believes that everything is my fault and I can control everything. I know that it works, okay? If I think I can control my finances, I can work harder, I can try to build a business, I can try to make thousands of euros and elevate that into millions, whatever. I haven't achieved that yet, but I know I can, all right? And the first type would be my friends who haven't woken up from that perspective yet would be like, come on, let's be a bit more realistic. So which one's actually real, and which perspective is, which reality exists, okay? This is what I was discovering today. I was journaling in the gym, just kind of listening to a book that talks about that, Reality Transurfing by Adam. And by the way, great book, you guys can start it. Oh yeah, which perspective is real? So the solution is that those two realities coexist. There's Andrew Tate, probably everybody has heard of him before, whether you like him or hate him, doesn't matter. But I have to explain that when he came 2 years ago in 2022, and he was like, and he seemed like a bully, and he comes and says, those people who say they can and those people who say they can't do something are both correct. Because the person who says they can will strive hard enough to achieve it, and the person who says they can't won't anyway. So that's kind of what it reflects to. Your reality, your perspective on life does exist in your scenario. It's specifically to your scenario, all right? And if you haven't woken up enough, and it's a bit sad to still be living in the first, and most people are so arrogant that they don't want to wake up from the first scenario, so they'll say stuff like, they'll literally make excuses not to wake up. You'll tell them, bro, you can change your life. You can actually do it. They'll be like, no, because my dad 6 years ago told me something that makes me traumatized. Bro, you can get free of anything. Let's be honest. But what I wanted to talk about today is most people will want to strive away from the second ideology subconsciously. I talk about this in one of my previous videos, but it's always, people always tend to instinctively move towards something where comfort and peace, the feeling of peace is at, all right? So it's much easier to make some excuse and think, dude, no, this guy is lucky and now he's thinking that he made it himself. You can make these excuses. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I don't care about your scenario. I don't care how broke you are. I don't care how much debt your parents are in that you can't afford. Yes, of course, I would be happy to hear that somebody was able to pay off his parents' debt. But honestly, if you making your excuses doesn't impact my life, because I know what I can achieve. I know what I can work towards. And if it's proven enough that successful people, those who became millionaires, self-made, not by some crypto thing that pumped up. I'm talking about those who actually believed in themselves, who actually had sleepless nights where they were thinking about their business and they actually worked towards it and succeeded. Do you think those people were like, you know, it's fine, life orients me around anyway, like a sack of potatoes? Like, honestly, bro. And what's funny is that people see that, and people literally hear ambitiously successful people talking about this, and they go, well, my scenario is different. Nobody knows what I'm going through. Like, bro, are you trying to set yourself up for failure? And then they will keep hating on the person who actually believes in himself, starts working. Those people think they know so much. They think they're being more rational and smarter than those who just blindly work. You think you're so smart, don't you? You're those type 1 people I'm talking to right now. If you're watching this video and you think, dude, no, I actually understand way more, and I understand that it's more about the faith, and they'll make up some reason and they'll say that there's always a reason why you're here and you can't control it. Keep believing in that. I won't. And guess what? When I wake up at 4 a.m., every single morning, 4:30, and I think to myself, I'm gonna wake up and build my discipline and maintain it, because I believe that it's in my power. And you wake up much later, kind of dragging in life, like, oh, let me make some breakfast. I don't know what to eat. I don't care what to eat. My calories don't matter. And you're like, oh, what life happens to me? But I'm happier. So who won in the end? Whose reality won? Okay, whose reality is superior? Yours clearly isn't. If all you're doing is I don't know what happened there, boys. My phone just shut down, but all right. So it really depends on which reality you want to choose. Do you want to choose a life of fulfillment? And at the end of the day, you can look back at the day and be like, you know, it was hard, but I'm so damn glad I achieved that. And you'll actually feel this type of peace that you can't even describe through words. You have to live through it. Or you want to live this life where you're like, at the end of the day, you sit there and you're like, I feel terrible about myself. In the moment, I had fun. In the moment, it seemed comfortable. But now that I look back, I regret everything. Because my eternal state is going to be of someone who lived a life of no fulfillment, who was getting dragged along. And the thing is, whenever you feel temporary fun, the negativity is always ignored, right? And at the end of the day, you look back, you're like, fuck, messed up. Shouldn't have done that. And some people are lucky enough to wake up and look back soon enough when they're like 18, 20. So you at least have like 60, 70, 80 years maybe, I don't know, long to live with the right mentality. Don't escape it. Reality always catches up to you. Reality always catches up to you. So what I always say in most of my videos. Because it's true regarding anything you do. I always feel a sense of aggression and maybe even hatred towards those who I always see making excuses and talking about, I can't do this, you don't know my situation, and I have some type of anxiety, I feel some type of way. I'm not talking about those who are actually born with strong, strict diseases that they can't fight, that doesn't allow them to get out of bed. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those who are fully able, who have 2 arms, 2 legs, but they're just given some chemical that happens in their brain because they're like, dude, you don't know my situation. Like, it feels so hard to do it. Excuses sound best to those who make it. I don't know where this quote is from, but I always have it in my mind. Excuses always sound best If I don't like working out, and my friend who actually does work out asks me why I don't work out, and I'm like, dude, it kind of feels heavy. Like, I'm not that type of guy. Like, you don't know how strong it is. Like, to me, it might sound convincing because that's my mind producing this lie to keep me in the comfort that I'm supposed to be at. But to my friend who is listening to this, like, bro, like, everybody feels uncomfortable. The difference between you and people is some people actually push through. That's their perspective. You can and you will achieve what you want to achieve. As long as you keep working towards it, as long as you get up every day and think about what you want to achieve and the things that you have to put yourself through, you will achieve it. I promise you. You might feel terrible on the way there. You might feel terrible halfway through thinking that your plans might fail, but as long as you persevere, you're gonna achieve it. No doubt about that. And if you really think about it, even if it sounds weird and you're like, dude, not everybody can become an entrepreneur because my brain wasn't made this way. Stay broke then. I'm not forcing you to do that. Okay, stay broke. If you think that your mentality is better than mine and making excuses is actually valuable to you and reasonable, stay there. I promise you that everybody has their own unique reason not to do something. All right. I'm not a mornings person at all. That's the thing that I hate most, waking up early. But that's also the one thing that gives me the most fulfillment. Waking up early, somehow forcing myself every single morning to take a cold shower. The last 1 month, I haven't missed once. I have a habit tracker that actually allows me to do that, by the way, what you should be doing as well. Instead of just saying, I passed it, like, I kind of did all my habits, I feel good, so it's fine. And then when you look back 2-3 months ago, you're like, dude, I still can't feel motivated. I still don't know if I'm disciplined because you don't keep track of anything you do because you're too good for it, right? Well, I don't work like that. I don't work by tracking it. That's not how my mentality is. Your mentality is fucking weak. That's what it is. Somebody had to say it because you're not going to tell it yourself because you'd rather keep your ego up than admitting that you're weak mentally. All right. There might be some 35-year-old watching this, feeling offended that a 20-year-old is talking to them like this. But if you ignore my age, and you ignore the humiliation that puts you through that, you understand that, okay, maybe he has a point. Maybe I shouldn't be wasting my time anymore so that in 20 years when I'm 6 years old and my children have grown up, I look back and I'm like, dude, I could have given them so much more. I could have turned them into so much better people. It's all in your power. It's all about what you choose to do. The reason I talk with so much aggression is because it puts emphasis on what I say. I don't do it on purpose. Sometimes you guys notice that when I speak of such conviction, I literally lose track of what I actually wanted to say because there's so much to interpret. But if I were to stand there and be like, kind of like force myself to be emotionless, like, you guys should do this. This is nice. This is what you're supposed to do, and you have to create your own reality. You'd be like, that's cool. That's cool. But you wouldn't feel this authoritative feeling, yeah. You wouldn't feel this dominance over you that actually makes you think, dude, like, okay, I'll actually take this seriously so I can grow. The past me, if I spoke to past me like, oh yeah, you have to do this, by the way, because it's important, he would be like, cool, maybe that's true. Put it in the back of his mind because he would think he's better. But me, when I speak of conviction and you understand that my conviction is better than yours, and you understand that my philosophy beats yours, my reality is better, you're like, okay, you know what? This guy pisses me off, but he's correct. It's what you might think. My goal is not to make you guys love me. My goal is not to make you guys think, dude, I would really love him. My goal is just for you to understand how to improve your lives. And if you look deep enough, you will understand that I'm doing this because I care. I'm doing this because I care about the quality of the messages that I bring across. If I wanted popularity, if I wanted you guys to like me, I could just publish videos where I'm like, keep believing in yourself. You can do this. I know whatever. Be positive, be optimistic. But no, unless if you're chased by something like fear and negativity, and you understand that, dude, if I don't run fast enough, if I don't try hard enough, this will catch up to me. This fear and conviction will catch up to me. That's when you start moving. Not by just optimism. You don't start moving by wanting something. You start moving by needing something. That's the point of my videos. And most people aren't even focused enough. They don't even want to change their lives enough to watch this far. They probably watch the first 1.5 minutes of this video thinking, dude, I got the main message of this video. I let me move on to another one so I can learn as fast as I can. Keep lying to yourself. You're not learning shit. You know that. Everything's in your power, boys. Everything is in your power. There's always going to be excuses in your mind thinking, well, technically this isn't in my power. Technically health isn't in my power because I could get sick and get cancer and whatnot. Like, your mind's always going to throw excuses at you, right? But you have to resist against it. If you keep listening to your mind, then you're going to become an addict of something. Whether you're addicted to social media or porn, anything like that. Keep trying, boys. I know it's hard. I know this journey is hard, but anything beautiful requires hardship. I've realized this at literally when I was 17-year-old. Literally noticed that. It's not hard to realize. It's just hard to act upon.